Glory America, bonjour, hi Canada. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Thank you for listening to me this morning. It is a news day bereft of any major headline, but there are a couple of fun. This from the Washington Post: executive resigns from hospital that offered early vaccine to employees at Trump's Chicago hotel. The chief operating officer at a small Chicago hotel resigned on Wednesday after reports that he had used coronavirus vaccines meant for low-income residents to vaccinate employees at his luxury wristwatch dealer, his regular steakhouse, and his condo building, which is former President Donald Trump's Chicago Tower. So you can see how desperate the media is. This has got almost nothing to do with Trump, like nothing to do with Trump, but it's got Trump in the headline, which goes to tell you why media is having withdrawal syndromes from ratings across the board. Not this show. You folks are loyal, and in fact, we've added audience almost every day since President Trump left office, and the great rush went to his sainted place of reward. We've been filling in for many of those vacancies, but regular media is struggling. So they put Trump into every story. Meanwhile, that contrasts the executive resigns with the fact that Governor Cuomo has not resigned, even though Cuomo's family, according to the New York Times, is said to have received special access to virus tests. And in the Washington Post, Andrew Cuomo's family members were given special access to COVID testing, according to people familiar with the arrangement. And allegedly, Jeff Zucker and the rest of the CNN executive team were on Andrew Cuomo's treat him nice list. That's going to be quite an interesting scandal when they get to the bottom of who did Andrew Cuomo like and who did he not like. It really is. I'd also point you to, in the Washington Post on the landing page this morning, my new opinion piece, "The Long Duel Between the U.S. and China is Escalating." It builds off Josh Rogan's brand new book, Chaos Under Heaven. Josh is coming back today in the last segment, and I'm going to tape a long conversation with him for the podcast. But the key thing is the news of the morning. Well, imagine that I told Dwayne he had to go set up a remote in Chernobyl. "Hey, Dwayne, you're going to Chernobyl." And he would look at me, "What?" I said, "You get to go to Chernobyl." And, he's not allowed to talk. So the question would be, why? The look in his eyes would be, "I'm going to Chernobyl." That happened yesterday at the White House, cut number one.
The surge we're dealing with now started with the last administration, but it's our responsibility to deal with it humanely and to stop what's happening. And so this increase has been consequential. But the vice president's agreed, among the multiple other things that have happened at the meeting, and I appreciate it, agreed to lead our diplomatic effort and work with those nations to accept the returnees and enhance migration enforcement at their borders. We're already talking with Mexico about that. She's already done that. We're going to be dealing with a full team now that we have to be able to deal with the problem here at home, but also to deal with it now in terms of in country. And I can think
President
of
Harris is standing there saying, "What? What did I get assigned? Chernobyl? The board? What was that?" Normally she's asleep when Joe is rambling on like that. And all of a sudden she's in charge of the fiasco. That was Joe Biden's way. Remember from The Godfather? Keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. That was Joe Biden's payback for the busing comment. She's got the border. That basically ends her political career. Speaking of ended political careers, Eric Greitens was my guest yesterday. If you listen to this part of the show, you may not have heard it. The former governor of Missouri declared he was running for U.S. Senate, and he came on, and I literally had about 3 minutes worth of questions to clear up to get to the issue set, and he turned it into a 30-minute filibuster. Cut number 12. Let's go through that one at a time. I read your comparison to Donald Trump, and the big difference there is that Donald Trump was being pursued by the Steele dossier and by Democrats. You're being pursued by Republicans. The Missouri legislature was going to impeach you. And let me finish, Eric. And I read that report, all 24 pages, and most of it is based on witness testimony, including that of the woman with whom you had an affair at your house. And you took a photograph of her. You never denied that. I
No,
don't know how anyone.
actually, Hugh, let me stop you right there because that's absolutely 100% false. And I'm not going to allow you or anyone, Hugh, to repeat those leftist lies. That is 100% false, Hugh. And you are repeating the exact same talking points from the left that got that
That's not
FBI
in the
agent
left. That is
right
in the GOP-controlled Missouri
no,
legislature.
actually,
And
Hugh, I'm
the
sorry, sir.
special investigative.
That entire dossier was proven false. The Missouri Ethics Commission followed up on that report, Hugh, and they said there was no evidence of any wrongdoing.
No,
It's
there are four
very
witnesses. Let's talk about
very
that. That's the key thing.
No,
they didn't. No, there are three different investigations with Eric Greitens. I should have just assumed he would not conflate three investigations. There was an investigation by the St. Louis District Attorney, who is a hard left Democrat incompetent. There was an investigation by the Missouri Ethics Committee into campaign funding, financing, and list keeping, and that's separate from the district attorney. And then there was the investigation of the Missouri legislature into Eric Greitens' affair, and four witnesses. Greitens didn't participate in it. I was focused on the last one. He kept conflating it with the first two because he didn't want to talk about it. But when rule of thumb, when you go on someone's show and they ask you an uncomfortable question, answer it. Just answer it. Don't talk over them. Just answer it. We've had some memorable collisions over 20 years and 3/4 on this show. It occurs only infrequently. I doubt once every 3 or 4 years an interview will go sideways. Ron Johnson's interview went sideways recently. Andrew Sullivan's is the most famous interview that went sideways. And it's usually because the person on the other end is involved in a drama that we're not seeing. They have something going on in their head that we don't know about. And my basic question was this, cut number 15.
Yeah.
When you run for office, they're going to read into the record witness 1, 2, 3, and 4 in front of the Missouri legislature accusing you of hap rape, of taking. They're going to do that. How are you going to survive that? How are you not going to be Todd Aiken?
Hugh, well, because look, we have the people of Missouri with us. The people of Missouri know these facts, Hugh. The people of Missouri know what happened. They saw this campaign orchestrated by the establishment and the left. They saw the lies that came. They've seen how the lies have been exposed. All of this is known to the people of Missouri, and it's why the grassroots are with us. It's why the people of Missouri are with us. And it's why not only will win
because the woman involved was lying. Because those witnesses were lying. I'm not worried about it. See how easy that is? He doesn't want to say that. So instead we get a long discourse. And Eric is coming back next week, and we'll talk about it again. But this time, I think he'll figure it out. Don't try and filibuster a lawyer. This is not the rollover show. It's the Hugh Hewitt show. In any event, I do have to point out that a couple of nuts from the left on Twitter, Sam Stein at Politico, which has gone off the left edge, for example, accused me of inventing a term, half rape. In fact, that is the description used by the witnesses, one of the four witnesses, half rape. And it's on tape, and it's in the 24-page dossier. Foolish me. I assume people read dossiers when they were referenced, and they're easily available, and I had tweeted out the link to it. No, Media Matters, and Emo mans the Hugh Hewitt desk over at Media Matters. Emo is trapped there. He's been trapped there, or she's been trapped there. I'm not sure. If Emo is a man or a woman, no one ever tells me. It's one of those funny names. It could go either way, like Pat. So Emo is over there and decides to hit me for using the term half rape, as did Sam Stein. Now, Emo works at Media Matters, so I don't really care, but I even helped them out. Read the report. But Sam Stein, leading ace reporter for Politico, can't be bothered, gets it confused. Of course, I correct him. He doesn't say a word. But the term half rape is not my term. It's a quote from the witness report from the special committee of the Missouri State Legislature. More on Eric Greitens and his not so good, very bad, awful day on the Hugh Hewitt show. Haven't had a reaction to that on Twitter in a long, long time. Should have been a pretty boring interview. You know, hello, welcome. We're going to have a Missouri Senate race on these issues. Eric Greitens made it not so. I give him credit, though. He's coming back next Thursday. And we'll continue the conversation as we will after the break. Go nowhere, America. You're listening to the Hugh Hewitt Show.